My name is George and I'm 81 years old. I want to tell you about the worst mistake of my life, which I will regret for the rest of my life. I put my parents in a nursing home when I was 53. I told myself it was the right decision. I told myself I had no choice. I was wrong. My father was 79. My mother was 76. They'd been living in the house I grew up in for 40 years. The same house where my mother taught me to tie my shoes, where my father showed me how to change a tire in the driveway. They were slowing down. Dad's knees were bad. Mom was forgetting things, small things at first, where she put her glasses, what a day it was. Then bigger things, appointments, conversations we just had. I had a good job. I was a department manager at a manufacturing company. My wife worked full time. We had 2 kids still in high school. Our days were full, structured, busy. When my sister called and said Mom had left the stove on twice in 1 week, I knew something had to change. I didn't want to put them in a home. That's important for you to understand. It wasn't something I wanted, it was something I convinced myself I had to do. We looked at 3 facilities. The third one seemed nice. Clean hallways, friendly staff. Activities are posted on a bulletin board. They had a garden. My mother loved gardens. The director gave us a tour. She smiled a lot. She told us about the care they provided, the meals, the safety. She made it sound reasonable, responsible even. I remember my father didn't say much during the tour. He just walked slowly, hands in his pockets, looking at the floors. When we got back to the car, he asked me, "Is this really necessary?" I told him yes. I told him we couldn't give them the care they needed. I told him it was for their safety. I told him we'd visit all the time. I meant it when I said it. They moved in on a Tuesday in October. We spent the morning unpacking their things into a room that was maybe a third the size of their bedroom at home. 2 twin beds, a shared bathroom, a small TV on a dresser. My mother tried to arrange her photos on the windowsill. There wasn't enough space for all of them. She had to choose which memories made the cut. My father sat on the edge of his bed and didn't say anything. When it was time to leave, my mother hugged me. She said, "You'll come back soon, won't you?" I said, "Of course, Mom. We'll be back this weekend." We did go back that weekend. And the weekend after that. For the first month, we visited every Saturday. Then it became every other Saturday, then once a month and holidays. I told myself they were adjusting. I told myself they understood. I told myself the staff was taking good care of them. What I didn't let myself see was how my father stopped talking as much, how he'd sit in the common room and stare at the TV without really watching it, how he'd lost weight because the food wasn't like my mother's cooking and he just didn't have the appetite anymore. What I didn't let myself see was how my mother's memory got worse. How she'd sometimes forget I was coming and look confused when I walked in. How she'd ask me 3 times in one visit when I was going to take her home. I'd say, "Mom, you live here now, remember?" And she'd nod. But I could see she didn't remember. Or maybe she did, and she was just hoping the answer would be different this time. My father died 4 years after we moved them in. Heart attack. He was sitting in his chair in the common room watching the news. One of the staff members found him. They called me at work. I remember sitting in my office with the phone in my hand, feeling like the floor had dropped out from under me. Not at the funeral, my sister said, "At least he didn't suffer." But I think he did. I think he suffered every single day he was in that place. He just did it quietly. After Dad died, Mom's decline was fast. It was like she'd been holding on for him, and once he was gone, there was no reason to keep fighting. She stopped recognizing me 6 months later. I'd visit, and she'd look at me like I was a kind stranger. Sometimes she'd ask me if I knew where her son was. If I'd seen him, I'd say, "Mom, it's me, I'm right here." She'd smile politely, but I wasn't there. Not really, not to her. She died 2 years after my father, pneumonia. She was 82. I'm 81 now. The age my father was when I put him in that home. And I understand things I didn't understand then. I understand that my father didn't need a clean facility with a garden and activities. He needed to wake up in his own bed. He needed to sit in his own chair. He needed to feel like himself. I understand that my mother didn't need professional care. She needed her kitchen, her photos, her routines. Even if she was forgetting things, she needed the dignity of being in her own home. I understand that when my father asked me, "Is this really necessary?" He wasn't asking about logistics. He was asking me if I'd really decided that his comfort mattered less than my convenience. And the answer, though I couldn't admit it then, was yes. I chose my schedule over his dignity. I chose my peace of mind over his happiness. I told myself it was about safety, but it was really about control. About Noti, want to tell you about the worst mistake of my life, which I will regret for the rest of my life, having to worry about not having to rearrange my life. There were other options. I know that now. We could have hired help to come to the house. We could have moved them in with us. We could have made it work. But those options were harder. They required sacrifice. They required me to give up things I didn't want to give up. So I chose the option that looked like responsibility but was really just easier. I think about the 4 years my father spent in that place. 4 years of sitting in a room that wasn't his, eating food that wasn't his wife's, watching TV in a common room with strangers, waiting for visits that came less and less often. 4 years is 450 days. That's 450 mornings he woke up in a place he didn't want to be. For 460 nights he went to sleep knowing he'd never go home. I can't get those days back. I can't undo the choice. I can't sit with him one more time and tell him I was wrong. People tell me I did the best I could. They tell me I made a hard decision. They tell me not to be so hard on myself, but they're wrong. I didn't do the best I could. I did what was easiest for me. And I'm hard on myself because I should be. Because my father deserved better. My mother deserved better. If you're reading this and you're facing this decision right now, I'm telling you what I wish someone had told me. Don't do it unless there's absolutely no other option. Don't do it because it's easier. Don't do it because you're tired or busy or overwhelmed. Your parents spent decades taking care of you. They didn't put you somewhere when you were difficult. They didn't send you away when you were inconvenient. You owe them the same. I know it's hard. I know you're exhausted. I know you feel like you can't do it, but you'll regret it if you don't try. You'll regret it the way I regret it every single day. I visit their graves now. I bring flowers. I sit on the bench near their headstones and I talk to them sometimes. I tell them I'm sorry. I tell them I was wrong. I tell them I wish I could do it over, but I can't. I'm 81 years old. I don't have much time left. And when I think about my life, the thing I regret most isn't the job I didn't get or the money I didn't save or the trips I didn't take. It's those 4 years I took from my father. Those 2 years I took from my mother after he was gone. I can't give them back. I just hope you can learn from my mistake before it's too late. This channel carries more stories like this, honest voices from people who have lived long enough to see things clearly. Not advice, just perspective. If this resonated with you, you're welcome to subscribe and leave a comment. What lesson hit you the hardest? What's one thing you're going to change after watching this? Keep listening, keep learning, stay human.